This week, spring arrived in a big way, and it started right here at Middle Creek. Thousands of snow geese lifting off the water at sunrise. This never gets old. After the initial liftoff, many of them settled right back down in the water. And sharing the lake with them, Tundra Swans, floating and feeding. These beautiful birds are just passing through on their way north. I also caught some snow geese flying overhead, part of the northward migration. Every year, this is one of the best shows nature puts on in Pennsylvania. Common Mergansers were out on the water too, swimming and feeding. It's always fun to see these skilled divers at work. The songbirds were really active this week. A northern mockingbird was going through its repertoire. Red-winged blackbirds were singing, one of the surest signs that spring is on the way. The American robins were calling out. But the real highlight of the week? Woodfrogs in a vernal pool, swimming, calling, and mating. Listen to this. If you want to learn more about these incredible frogs and why vernal pools are so important, I did a whole video on that. I'll link it at the end of this one. By the way, if you're enjoying this spring wildlife tour, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It really helps my channel to grow. I also spotted some eastern chipmunks out and about. They're coming out of their winter torpor. And a golden-crowned kinglet, such a tiny bird with that beautiful yellow crown. Killdeer have returned, and they were really putting on a show, running around, doing their thing. And of course, I had to stop and just enjoy the sounds of the creeks. Take a moment with this one. Next up, Wildwood Park in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Temperatures hit 70 degrees this week, and the wildlife responded. Painted turtles were out basking everywhere I looked, and I even spotted a few bullfrogs. Muskrats were swimming around, green-winged teal were feeding, and northern flicker, Downy woodpecker, and more red-winged blackbirds calling out. One of the coolest finds, a fishing spider, just floating on the surface of the water. And some beautiful wood ducks were feeding nearby. Over at Knoll Doorwork Park, I got my first snake of the season, a common garter snake curled up on a log soaking in the warmth. It's always exciting to see the first one of the season. The creek here was beautiful and peaceful. And dark-eyed Juncos were still hanging around, feeding on the ground. They'll be heading north soon. Nearby, a northern flicker was up in a tree calling out. My last stop was Woods Edge Park, where I found ring-necked ducks on the water and a few Canada geese floating. What a week! Spring is really picking up here in the Susquehanna Valley. Thanks so much for joining me. See you on Thursday for another nature video.